Viewers, the latest news about the ongoing conflict between Ethiopia, Tigray, and Amhara region is that heavy war continues on several fronts in Amhara and Tigray region. And we have received reports from several reliable sources that I will share with you in this video. Heavy fighting has been going on for several days on the sides of Baghemra, Sekota, and Abergele on the Amhara-Tigray border. And according to reports, unusual flights have been coming from Addis Ababa to Lalibela airport for the past few days. And it is being reported that war equipment and soldiers are being transported to the Lalibela airport through these flights. And several flight tracker agencies are also claiming that unusual flights are landing at Lalibela airport. And using these flights for war equipment and soldiers is certainly illegal. However, war equipment and soldiers are being transported to Lalibela by flight from Addis Ababa. Viewers, soldiers from Lalibela heading towards Baghemra and Abergele, and hundreds of Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers and its allies are already on this front near Abergele on Amhara-Tigray border. Which, according to report, Ethiopian National Defense Force has not yet achieved any major success on this front. I have already informed you in the previous videos that the strategy of Ethiopian National Defense Force is to destroy the Tigray Defense Force defense line from this front, especially from Abergele, and then enter the Tigray region and then move to the capital of Tigray region, Mekelle. Viewers, and this is also acknowledged by the commander and soldiers of the Ethiopian National Defense Force caught during the war. But from this front, we have received reports from Tigray Defense Force that Tigray Defense Force soldiers are defending themselves in attacks by Ethiopian National Defense Force and are present on their positions. Which I have already informed you that the Tigray Defense Force positions on this front is very strong, and reports have been received from some sources that Tigray Defense Force soldiers are now moving towards Sekota, while Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers are heading from Baghemra to Abergele. This Tigray Defense Force strategy here may also be to secure the areas of Tigray region on the Amhara-Tigray border by gaining control over the Sekota and surrounding areas. And the soldiers of the Ethiopian National Defense Force who are on the sides of Abergele and are trying to enter the Tigray region should be surrounded. And there are reports from some sources that Tigray Defense Force has closed the road between Lalibela and Sekota, due to which hundreds of Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers are trapped, which are present at the border of Tigray region beyond Sekota and present near Abergele. There is no information yet received from Tigray Defense Force Central Command regarding this. We will let you know as soon as it is confirmed. If this news is true, then it is a big achievement for Tigray Defense Force. And now Tigray Defense Force take control on Sekota, and hundreds of Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers were trapped. Viewers, and a video from Tigray Defense Force has also been shared a while ago, in which Tigray Defense Force soldiers can be seen with tanks. First you watch this video, then we talk further. Because the United States has dispatched an envoy to Ethiopia to seek an end to renewed fighting and condemned neighboring Eritrea for re-entering the conflict in the northern region of Tigray. Whereas Mike Hammer, the US Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, will head this weekend to Ethiopia and convey that all parties should halt military operations and engage in peace talks, and White House Press Secretary Karine said on Friday, and said that we condemn Eritrea's re-entry into the conflict, the continuing Tigray Defense Force offensive outside the Tigray, and the Ethiopian government airstrikes. And she told reporters, referring to the Tigray Defense Force. As fighting resumed last week in the northern region after a 5-month lull, dashing hopes of peacefully resolving the nearly 2-year war and of ending a humanitarian crisis in which Tigray has suffered widespread hunger. And there is no military solution to the conflict. And all parties should exercise restraint, and we urge de-escalation by all actors, particularly so that there can be a resumption of humanitarian relief and basic services to all parties in need. US Hammer took on the role in June and the following month visited Ethiopia in a bid to help launch peace talks, which never began due to disputes between the government and the Tigray People Liberation Front, even while the ceasefire was holding. And the two sides have tread blame for starting the latest round of hostilities. The Tigray People Liberation Front, once Ethiopia's dominated force, has said that historic rival Eritrea again sent in forces as part of a major offensive with Ethiopian troops. And Eritrea, one of the world's most close nations with one of its most authoritarian governments, has been accused of heinous violation in the conflict. And Amnesty International said that Eritrean forces at the start of the conflict in November 2020 massacred hundreds of civilians in the city of Axum. And after months of denial that Eritrean troops had crossed the border, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in March 2021 admitted to their presence and promptly announced their departure. And Ethiopia's ambassador in Washington met on Thursday with senior officials including Deputy Secretary of State Wende Sherman, and called on the United States to condemn the Tigray People Liberation Front, which he said was to blame for breaking the ceasefire. And access to northern Ethiopia is severely restricted, and Tigray has been under a communications blackout for over a year. And Tigray People Liberation Front spokesperson Kindia earlier today told that a major offensive was coming from Eritrea, and combat had been concentrated around the southeastern border of Tigray, with the Tigray Defense Force pushing into the neighboring Amhara and Afar region, sending residents fleeing. So viewers, so far is the latest update. For more latest update, please subscribe channel. Thanks for watching.